My name's Jake. I'm an illustrator.
I'm Nicole, I'm an author and graphic designer.
Yeah, and together we are Madloff. The book is called Turning a Blind Eye, and in this we hoped to explore the fantastic history of the post office, to bring it to kind of a new generation, a new load of people that may have no idea about the building they're in or the building they walk past or go on the bus to. So we set out as Madloff to do this and approach the university and Catalyst to create the book with working closely with the university so that they have this project. We've worked closely with Catalyst and the Students' Union on this project to make it a possibility for the launch event that's October 28th, 2016. And in the launch event we've got some limited edition prints both I and Nicole have made. Working with Catalyst to create this book has helped because we've had full access to the university's archives. Because lots of students and some staff and lots of people in Sheffield who weren't around when the post office was have no idea what the building is. So it's to create that because some parts of Sheffield have turned a blind eye to the history.
We've done obviously our own research online and talking to some staff members that remember it being a post office. Met with the workers themselves. They provided us with like priceless information.
The title Turning a Blind Eye, it comes from a few things really. The reason we've chosen it as the title is because the point of the book and the purpose of it is to create awareness of the fantastic history this building's got. The ex-workers have all donated loads of stuff for us to work with. And that was great because that uncovered stories that we hadn't found during research at the Sheffield Archive and online.
It's not available, is it?
Yeah, little stories that weren't available to the public because they weren't really public information, they were just stories that happened.
This building was built simply because the telephone exchange, which was in the gas offices in Commercial Street, became full. It just couldn't cope. They had a huge gantry on top of the building that all the wires went out from all over the city.
Spending time in the building has definitely helped towards the gathering the information and also just getting a feel for it because of the renovation. Obviously a lot of the stuff isn't there anymore, but they have kept a lot of the original fixtures, particularly in the cafe, like the tiling on the floor and the big beams and everything, the windows and everything's still original, which lends a hand to get a feel for it, like I said, but also like when illustrating.
When Sheffield Hallam took this building on and turned it into the Sheffield Institute of Arts, they took loads of photos before they started and we've had access to a lot of those and it's been great, but even having walls like this and just little bits that they've managed to restore helps so much because I've been looking at loads of archival photos to get textures and the way that the light bounces off things. I've been able to just come into rooms like this and just sketch straight from the surroundings and to get the scale of the building as well. You don't realise how big the rooms are and when people say, oh, there's 450 people working in this room, until you walk into the space and wow, it's surrounded.
The telephonist, one of the ladies that was there, she said that there were over 400 ladies just on the telephone while she was working there. And she would meet somebody and not see them again for like 8 months because they moved around that much for like discretion so they get chatty, I think.
All underground, and in there were all the main batteries that powered the whole of the telecom system, switchboards, repeaters, everything.
It's just interesting to look around as well. especially having met with post office workers and them telling us, you know, this room used to be the telegram office, this used to be the postmaster's office.
Here the vault, here's the instrument room.
And we can sort of, from obviously the information they've given us, we can sort of work out where they were, and that's really nice to sort of just wander around and be able to sort of imagine what it was like.
We've taken all their stories, and instead of just doing a kind of A to Z of what's what in the building, like going through room by room, we've taken their stories and we've adapted them into a lyrical story that takes you through almost a day in the post office, but gives you an insight to how the people work together and what happened and the little scandals and the downtime.
Yeah, we've dropped little nods in there to sort of the things that they were talking about, and I hope they sort of pick up on that, because that'll be really sort of sweet to get across.
The history of the post office, that all use the phrase turning a blind eye, it tied in with what we were trying to do and everything else. And yeah.
When we met them, they used the phrase a lot, like even talking about, you know, something that somebody did they should have done on their lunch break. They were like, oh, we just turned a blind eye to that.
Catching telegram boys sleeping in the mechanic's office on their lunch break and things like that, and they just turned a blind eye. In this book, I've been using a lot of heavy black instead of, whereas usually I build up, like I'll do there'll be a white background, I'll build it up. This, for some of the backgrounds in this book, I've been doing it the harsh black and then reducing it back down to white to create much more shadows and the vastness, and almost to like accentuate the voids in the post office.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before we had like a formula of the way we've done it, and the writing style, the illustration, the cover, they're all kind of within a means. But the last few books we've done, we've thrown that out the window and we've gone incredibly graphic for the cover, more striking, more visual. Yeah, with the working with archival materials, there have been moments where it's been tricky, but the challenges have more been taking influence from stories because of the amount of history this building holds and this area holds. To put that into a book, it's just impossible. You need thousands of books. But we wanted to create something that's original, and it's a fictional story but based on factual events. And to take influence instead of just writing up what happened was probably the trickiest thing we've come across. My illustration itself is very much influenced by time's got by really. I've got a very, the style kind of takes from people like Alfred Cuban, Edward Gorey, and other illustrators from the turn of the century through to the kind of 60s, 70s when the boom in illustration rose. I've spent a long time whilst working on this trying to get the clothing right, just main thing, because everyone was in a shirt and tie, and you know, you were suited and booted, ready for work, and you had a work uniform. Even if it was your own clothes,
well,
it was, yeah, you had to have a full Windsor, and you needed your hat on in the right way. We wanted to keep everything in Sheffield as well, so the prints we have used local independent businesses to produce. The frames, yet again, have been sourced by independent framers in Sheffield, and the book we have had printed in Sheffield, so that everything has been kept within the central town, local Sheffield industries, and made sure that everything's kind of got that old-timey, independent, local feel to it that fits the book and the project. The book itself, that will all then be on display inside Sheffield Hallam post-event. We'll also have some copies we're donating to the university so that they have them in the reception hall and cafe, so that visitors and new students can have a read whilst having a coffee.